The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our wonderful travel advisor partners, our loyal guests, and our future guests to be, of course. Thank you so much for joining us for this special sip and sail today. We know it's busy, it's holiday time, so thank you for taking the time to join us for this great event and this sip and sail. During the sip and sail, we're going to have live multilingual moderators working behind the scenes to answer any questions you may have or any comments you may have. And if you have a special message for maybe your favorite cruise manager or crew member, captain, BDM, reservations team member, we would love to hear from you. So send us a message. We'll be sure to pass on your message to anyone you like. We're going to embark on a journey today down memory lane of 2022, a wonderful year. In fact, this year we celebrated 20 years at AmaWaterways. It's been an amazing journey. And joining me today for the Sip and Sail, I'm very honored to present one of the founders of AmaWaterways, co-founder, co-owner, and executive vice president of AmaWaterways, Christine Karst. Hello, Christine.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Wade, for this wonderful introduction. I'm very, very happy to be here together with Wade and, of course, all our guests, especially since I'm coming in here from Germany. So usually all of you see me when I'm in my office in California or maybe at a different place in the world. But I'm so happy to be here right now with my family in Germany, where winter has started. All the trees are covered with beautiful snow. The lights are on. I just actually came back from one of our beautiful Christmas markets. And this is truly the festive time of the year to be here in Europe. And on Christmas Eve, December 24, I will make my way back to California. And we'll spend then Christmas Eve with my family over there. So I can say I'm the lucky one to have it on two sides of the world. And this was travel is all about. So thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate that you take the time. And hopefully we will make it worthwhile for all of you.
Thank you so much, Christine. And you're in Germany, and actually I'm in Switzerland. And today, earlier, I was at the Basel Christmas Market. And just before this sip and sail, I was on board the AmaLucia. And it is so, so beautifully decorated. I felt like cruising the AmaLucia for Christmas time. So it's just so beautiful. Here in Basel, we have the European office of AmaWaterways. It's from here where I oversee the office and our more than 80 cruise managers who many of you know and also love. And for the sip and sail this evening, we have very special guests with us, and I'm very, very honored to present and welcome Emmy award-winning television host of her own PBS show called Places to Love. She's also a member of the AmaWaterways family, being the godmother of our beautiful Ama Magna. Let's give a warm welcome to Samantha Brown. We do know Samantha is here, but due to a little technical glitch, we might see her in just a moment. So while we're waiting up, there she is. I told you she'd be here in a moment. Hello, Samantha.
Hello.
Welcome.
How do you see me?
We see you. Welcome to the Sip and Sail.
You do. Okay, I'm going to trust you. I don't see me, so usually I can see a panel of everyone, so I'm just going to trust you. You can see me and hear me?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay. It is so great to be here and celebrating this fantastic year with you. And thanks for inviting me.
It is so great to have you here, Samantha. I remember we cruised when was it? 2019 together on the Emma Magnet, the christening cruise.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. I think we picked you up in Basel, Switzerland as well.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience. So we can't wait to cruise with you again, actually. So thanks for joining us tonight. We have another special guest with us. I mentioned over 80 cruise managers, and we have one of our 82 cruise managers with us tonight, Miriam Oravkova from Bratislava, Slovakia. Miriam has been with AmaWaterways since 2019 and has cruised almost every river in Europe. So big warm welcome to you, Miriam.
Thank you very much, Wade. Thank you very much, and welcome everybody. Very good evening. As you already said, warm welcome from Bratislava. So I would like to add another country to our panel today. And I also was yesterday at the Christmas markets to get into the mood and to get this special experience. So I've got this Christmas feeling, especially for this wonderful celebration of our past year together.
Thank you, and welcome again, Miriam.
Thank you.
So now, like in every sip and sail hour, it is the time for our welcoming toast. And today, I don't have a glass of wine nor a glass of champagne with me. I mentioned I just came back from the Christmas market. And here is my Christmas mug filled with delicious hot mulled wine. And there is, of course, the traditional hot mulled wine, but there are also amazing flavors like raspberry, plum, cherry, and so many more. But I would like to get started with this toast. So with Christmas right around the corner, I want to wish everyone a happy holiday. So tonight is also the 5th night of Hanukkah. To those who celebrate, happy Hanukkah. The best things in life are the people you love, the places you have seen, and the memories you have made along the way. And these truly are the best things in life. And I'm so happy to have you all with us to help celebrate this year. Travel is all about being with the ones you love and making memories of a lifetime. To those of us who joined an AmaWaterways river cruise in 2022, thank you so much. And to those who will be joining our Ama family next year, we cannot wait to welcoming you on board. So let's have the toast. Here's my hot mulled wine.
Cheers.
So to all of you, cheers. And
Cheers.
I don't even want to ask what you are all drinking because we only have an hour time. So let me just talk a little bit about holiday decoration on board our ships, because as Wade, you know, I cannot wait for you and our European team to start decorating the ships. And usually that happens right after Thanksgiving. Sometimes you even start before, right? And then we have a little bit Thanksgiving decoration and Christmas decoration together. But it is in late November through December when our ships on the Rhine, Danube, and of course, the beautiful Ama Christina sailing the Rhone River in France transform with holiday spirit. And Samantha, you recently enjoyed our holiday festivities while sailing the Rhine and the very lush Main rivers with some amazing cities like Bamberg and Würzburg, absolute beautiful during Christmas time. So can you give us a glimpse into the festive atmosphere that you experienced, not only in the Christmas markets, but on board the beautiful decorated Ama Prima, the ship that you visited just a couple of weeks ago?
I would love to. You know, it was such a surprise to me, Christine, because I knew, okay, we're going to go see the Christmas markets, and that's where we're going to feel the Christmas spirit. That's where we're going to feel the holidays. And what I didn't expect, and I don't know why, was just walking on board the Amaprima and how that would be just a nucleus of holiday cheer. And you walk on and the tree is there, and there are garlands up the rails up to the second floor. Sorry, I don't know all the shipping terms, so I call it second floor, top deck, front, back. And what I loved most was that every single doorway had a wreath, and that was so special. And it was just instantly you realized, oh my goodness, it's like we're within a Christmas tree, and it was just perfect. But yeah, I thought that the holidays would be what we experienced off the ship, but I didn't realize that we would just be in, just totally like a big warm hug during our stay as well.
Samantha, if I can jump in, I mean, our team over here is looking after the Christmas decorations, and I'm trying to go to as many ships as possible to check them. And for me, it's never enough. I'm like, we need more. Someone's going to have to stop me someday, because otherwise you really will be sleeping in a Christmas tree.
No, wait, don't ever stop. And even down in the dining room, you'd walk in and it was like you walked into like a gingerbread house. There were actually gingerbread houses decorated and big snowmen. And then at the chef's table, everyone fell in love with those snow machines. I don't know, Wade, if you put the order in for those snow machines, but keep them coming. Everyone loved them. And the best was when we got a visit from Santa. Can I talk about that? Do I have time to talk about Santa? Because again, a big unexpected. We had our holiday party where we helped decorate the tree. There was a second tree that we all helped decorate, and then Santa pays a visit. And you're an adult. I have young kids who still are excited to see Santa come. But for me, Santa is always about young kids. What young kids like? Well, you saw 135 adults just be so excited that for finally once in, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 years, we had Santa to ourselves, and everyone lined up to get a picture with Santa. So you not only give us the holiday spirit, but you give us a sense of our childhood that we thought we've passed on to our own kids. And now it's, now it's moving down the generations, but you realize, oh no, we're all still little kids at heart. So that was a really unexpected and special moment of just, we adults get Santa.
So can I ask, Samantha, did you have to put your boots outside of your door?
Yes, we did. And I was so excited
happened?
to do that.
Did you have to chuckle?
Well, I was so excited. So that's St. Nicholas, right? The St. Nicholas. And so everyone put their boots. And that night, when everyone went to bed, I went out and I got a video of all the boots, thinking, okay, who's going to do this? Who's going to play along? Again, where's that childhood begin and end? And there were boots outside of every door. It was adorable. And then the next morning, there was a nice chocolate Santa, Lindt, good Swiss chocolate. A good Lindt Swiss chocolate Santa in our boot. And it was that anticipation. It was that delight, and that you do so well. I think people have an expectation of what a river cruise is going to be, and then there's what we don't expect. And for me, that's what Ama delivers so well on: the unexpected, the delightful moments that you never take for granted to give your passengers.
Well, and on that night that guests put the boots and the shoes outside, I mean, people get really into it. And just this week, it was so sweet because people leave so many messages for Santa. And I love the fact that there was one gentleman, he said, "Dear Santa, my wife has been very naughty. Please leave me 2 chocolates."
Smart. I wish I had thought of that.
Next time you know the trick to get 2 chocolates.
Get 2 chocolates. Got it.
And did you do the Christmas tree decorating as well?
At that point, I went to bed. I had put in a big day, and so I like to go back to my room and rest. So, but I got my picture with Santa with my mom, and danced a little bit and toasted, and and then headed to bed, which is also, it's so nice. The party is right there, and then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go retire, you say goodnight, and you just walk into your room, and it's a perfect day.
Yeah. That's what I usually say about our New Year's cruises. You're on the ship, you can go up to the sun deck to enjoy the party and the fireworks, and then you go down again and it's warm and nice and all the locals are outside and they would love to be on the ship, and this is the prime spot. And yeah.
I agree. Yes.
It's funny that you mentioned New Year's because, the lounge is completely decorated for Christmas, beautifully decorated. And when everyone goes to dinner, and they come back up, the lounge has been retransformed into the New Year's gala party. So the crew is amazing on board.
But maybe Miriam, I know that you have been on board recently, right? You're on board so many of the cruises. I'm sure
Yes,
you want to.
Yeah, definitely. I have now the story that it's really worth to mention, because 3 days ago I disembarked from the AmaLea. We did the cruise from Nuremberg to Budapest, and there was a group of 61. These were the former scouting ladies, but over time, they found the parents, they found the husband. So they brought also the gentlemen, and they really got 4 funny Christmas elves with them, as a small puppets, as a small dolls. And one of them was very famous, was Frederick, because all of these Christmas elves were at the dinners, they were sipping cocktails in the bar, they were doing the Christmas trees. And then when we had a Santa coming on board and we were singing the carols, then somebody kidnapped Frederick from the lounge. Basically, Frederick disappeared, and his elf's parents were really, really despair, and they were like, where is he? So they actually that night even created the missing note, like, have you seen our elf? And they were waiting for somebody to ask for the ransom for the kidnapping, but in the morning nobody asked for that. So they start to be a little bit like, will we ever see Frederick again? And then, believe it or not, at lunchtime somebody put Frederick right on my PC, on my laptop, and then his parents were extremely happy. And actually, this group had so much fun with us on board that they actually already booked 2 cruises. They booked one in 2024 and one in 2025 with us as well.
Oh, this must be a wonderful travel advisor who has this group and is very, very happy that the group is coming back and cruises a different river. Wonderful. Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you.
And there is more. I know you also experienced Christmas in Romania, or was it Halloween with Dracula?
Yes, there is actually one also very special, because what they love this special Christmas mood, that actually they already scheduled one festive Transylvanian, very spooky Halloween experience. And this group would like to have also their own Transylvanian party on our pre-extension. And then once we will be on board, it's going to be the second Halloween party on board our lovely ship.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Oh, that's on my list, actually, to experience Halloween in Romania. Everyone knows it. But we know time is the most precious.
I think that's the next cruise we all have to do together.
I know. And I always say, don't wait for so long. So I shouldn't wait for so long anyway, right? So we know time is the most precious commodity. And the holiday season offers the opportunity together with those most dear to us. And our incredible crew, and our crew is like family, and you, our guests, are like family to our crew. They take all the stress away and work out of the holiday preparations, leaving you time to soak in all the magic and find time to really connect with your travel companions. Or perhaps just relax and open yourself to meeting new friends. But to the moms, and of course, Samantha, you know it, we are all moms here. For us, it is so wonderful to just sit down, because we do not have to go shopping. We do not have to be stressed out, prepare everything that, because the crew does it all for us. And the best, we don't even have to clean the dishes afterwards, right? And everyone is happy. So, wait, I know that you live in Basel. You just came from the Christmas markets. Is Basel your favorite Christmas market? Because they are also different, right?
It's true. I mean, Basel is the biggest Christmas market in Switzerland, but there are so many great Christmas markets here. My favorite, I actually discovered a new favorite this year, which I'll talk about maybe in a little bit, because it's probably going to surprise all of you what my new favorite Christmas market is. But, you know, because they're also different. It depends the region where you are or the country where you are. And Samantha, knowing that you actually just came back from your Nuremberg to Amsterdam cruise, and you visited Christmas markets on the Main River, which is something special, and on the Rhine, would you be able to choose one Christmas market, which would be your favorite one?
It's very hard, but the one that just knocked my socks off was Cologne. I had been to Nuremberg before this cruise, so I knew Nuremberg, and that's a phenomenal Christmas market. There's a lot to do. But I didn't realize Cologne doesn't just have one Christmas market, it has like 6, and they each have their own mug. So you have to go to all 6 markets. So they have the Angels Market, where all the kiosks and the crafts have an angels theme. This is the Elf Market. So they all have these cute little elves, and then there was the one, there's the one, of course, by the cathedral, which I went to. There's a mariner's one that's all dedicated to the sea life. And then one, my mom and I went to like 3, and then I dropped her off at the boat, because you walk off the boat and go right into the cathedral Christmas market, which is so wonderful. So we could always just see where the boat was. I escorted her back, and then I said I had one more. And I got on a tram and I went to Rudolfplatz. There's a Rudolph Platz where they have the Rudolph Christmas market. And I said, well, I have to go to the Rudolph one. And so I took the tram, and it was great. I was with all the commuters of Cologne squishing in the tram, and I got to the market and went around, and then I got another special. They were little boots, and they're going to go into my Christmas stockings for my children. So they're getting little boots. So I got a lot of mugs, but yeah, Cologne for me was incredible. Great artisans, wonderful food, a little more international as well, and just the variety of many Christmas markets that you could go to. You could visit 4 within walking distance of the ship. So I thought that was pretty amazing.
And you
So I
haven't
guess it was
even seen
volume.
Right. You didn't even go to the chocolate museum. No time after 6 Christmas markets, right?
No, I did not. No. No.
Well, and it's fun. I agree with you, Samantha, because I mean, just that Christmas market with the cathedral as a backdrop, and you know, so many people, they do come to Europe or travel the world, they do want to get those photos, you know, those iconic moments, and that Christmas market with the cathedral behind is just spectacular. So I can see why that's your favorite.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, no, it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But I know there's more, so I'm interested to know what your change has been.
Yes, well, it was surprising to me too. But you know, Christine, it's funny because Christine's in Germany now, and Christine has been surely to probably every Christmas market on the European river. So Christine, what would be your favorite Christmas markets?
Well, talking about cathedrals, and my hometown is Dresden. First, I really have to talk about Dresden. It's not on one of the rivers we are cruising, but it is the oldest Christmas market in Germany altogether, dating back actually to the 15th century. And it is spectacular. And similar to Cologne, it's not just one market. There are so many, but the most beautiful one is in front of the Church of the Ladies. It is absolutely fascinating when the church is illuminated, and of course reminds us a little bit as well about the history. And today, how people are really strolling around and just indulging into the magic of the market. Now, back to the rivers, I have to say, from the rivers, my favorite Christmas market, and I hope that Rudy is listening into this sip and sail here, because he was born in Vienna. Vienna, the #1 city in the world, how he is always saying, but statistics actually say it. And Vienna so often changes the place with Zurich, right, in Switzerland. but there are how many Christmas markets in Vienna? I mean, the one we are seeing right now on the photo is in front of course, the city hall. It is the biggest one. We are taking our guests to this Christmas market. And I just have the most beautiful memories when I was strolling there with, you know, also my family members and with so many of our guests. We give actually all our guests a little coupon so they can get some hot mullet wine there as well. And then everyone is taking the mug. Now this is a blue mug that I have from Germany. And of course in Vienna, it's mostly a red mug because that is one of the national colors in Austria. But I just love it. So many handicrafts you can get there, all the sweet treats. The evening hours are the best for this. But now, like Samantha, I would love to know, Wade or Miriam, one of you, what is your, I say, Wade, we leave you for, that's the last, Miriam. I know you're in Bratislava, and that's actually not so far from Dresden. Can you share your favorite Christmas market?
Yes, Christine, it's going to be my pleasure. And actually, I will go a little bit more closer to Dresden than Bratislava because my choice will be Prague. I was also doing this year the Christmas markets as a pre-extension in Prague. And it was really magical because Prague is a city of 100 spires. You know, it's really magical, not even in a spring or summer, but when a Christmas time it starts, it's really something very special. Also, what you see on the picture, that's the square, that's the most important square right at the municipality hall. And the church, the very famous, is the Church of the Black Madonna, which is actually very nicely lit. Also, what is very special is that if you are standing at this Christmas market, then you have every hour the astronomical clock, you know, so it's like a double experience, enjoying and sipping this mulled wine together with the Christmas markets. And the atmosphere is really special because also this year the Prague made there the viewing platform where you can actually go in the middle of the square for the viewing platform, and then you got 360 view of the all the square. And this Old Town Square is also very special because if you would like to eat or try whatever is there, you do not have enough of Christmas days to do that. Because all of these great things that are there, you know, for example, my favorite is this famous chimney cake, which is filled with ice cream or whipped cream, if you dare to, and then with the chocolate sprinkles, and also very famous potato pancakes, you know, and very, for me, typical roasted old Prague ham, which is like a big bunch of ham on a roast, and then it's turning, and then they cut it piece by piece. So Prague is not only beautiful, but also gastronomical heaven. So, but yeah, this will be mine. But I know that Wade had some special surprise for all of us.
Well, it's funny because now you talked first about that viewing platform, and I have never been there. I've never seen that. So you sold me on that market now. I need to go see it because that square is probably, you know, one of the most beautiful in all of Europe. And now you got me hungry as well. So, you know, thinking about like my favorite Christmas market along the rivers, I do have to say probably Turn in Taxis in Regensburg, which is at the, you know, the gardens of the castle. It's medieval. It has open fires. It's so beautiful with craftsmen and with artisans and very typical food like wild boar. And my favorite at the Turn in Taxis Christmas market is the potato soup in the bread bowls. So absolutely delicious. But and we're all hungry now, right? I have been going to Turn in Taxis, and I make a point to go every year, and everyone knows that I'm like Mr. Christmas over here. I love all the Christmas markets. But this year we did start cruising the Ama Cristina in December, which was new for us. So I did get to go to Paris. I went to Lyon, which has a wonderful Christmas market. But the biggest surprise for me ever was the Barcelona Christmas market, my new favorite Christmas market ever. I never imagined Barcelona to be the place for Christmas markets. There is a Christmas, there's like 4 or 5 different Christmas markets. There's one at the port, which is called Portville, which is so picturesque. I took so many photos, it was amazing. And in this slide, you also see the traditional Christmas market in front of the cathedral in the Gothic quarter, which is wonderful. And what's so great about visiting all of these Christmas markets is the fact that they are also different. And you see here like these little logs with a smiley face, which was something I learned about at the Christmas market in Barcelona, because this is a very typical Catalan tradition that all of the children get this little log. It's called the Christmas log, and they get it in the beginning of December. They have to feed it, they have to water it, they have to take care of it, make sure it has a blanket at night. And the more they take care of it, the better chances are that they will get more presents on Christmas Day. So they're very sweet to the Christmas log. But the funny thing is, on Christmas Day, the children, they all have to get sticks and they have to beat the log. They have to beat it as much as possible. And the more they beat it, the more presents they might get. So that's how they celebrate Christmas in Barcelona. And I love that sweet tradition. And for sure, if you go on Ama Cristina and the Rhone as a new Christmas destination, you should definitely go also with the Paris and Barcelona land programs so that you can see these wonderful Christmas markets as well.
Yeah, that looks absolutely amazing. And I know there are so many new Christmas and winter markets coming up all over the world, because it's just the most enjoyable time of the year, and normally people are very nice with each other and they all want to share into the romantic. So that's definitely on my list for next December. Wait, you sold me.
Absolutely, we'll go together. And actually, it's interesting because Samantha, you were talking about your mom, how you dropped her off after the third Christmas market, I think.
Yes.
How was the experience for your mom?
The entire experience, you mean, or just the Cologne Christmas market experience?
Well, like the Christmas markets, and I would say the whole onboard experience.
Yeah, I think, with for me, I knew that the only way I could take my mom to Europe was on a river cruise. This is the way we would be able to do it because she has mobility issues. It's hard for her to walk. She gets tired. And so I was always very, cautious of that. And for her, it was wonderful because we could just most of the time walk off the ship into a Christmas market or go into a really nice, warm running coach that would, whisk us away to the next Christmas market or where we would need to be. And we love that. I knew because of my own experience with Ama that, and I also know what it means when I'm not with Ama and I'm producing my own TV show traveling, how difficult travel is. I mean, we all watching know it can, there's a lot to it. And to have this vessel that basically takes care of you the whole way, I always tell people it's a soft landing no matter where you are. There's always someone there to hold your hand. There's always someone at Ama to make sure you're okay, to come back to that ship, that warmth, that space that becomes yours. It transforms your European travel experience. Obviously, you go to other places than Europe, but in terms of visiting many, many places at one time, there is an energy that you have to have that goes away when you are on board and when you are in the hands of Ama. Again, there's someone to hold your hand. So that soft landing is something that we deeply appreciated because then we had time to be with one another. Right now, what you're showing is great. It's all exclamation points, right? It's these beautiful Christmas markets, but I always like to remind people of the commas. And Ama allows you to have that comma. It allows you to have that rest, coming back to the ship and just having a glass of wine at the bar or maybe a cup of coffee in the morning, having these amazing experiences, but then having that safe space where we could just be with one another and talk. And my mom and I actually got to have really wonderful, beautiful, soft, poignant conversations about her life that I've never been able to just be able to sit down and listen. And that's one of those things that I just want to make sure people watching right now understand, that travel with a group of people, and I love how you're showing multi-generational travel. This is such an ideal way to accomplish it because you do have time. You're not the one that's going, okay, where are we going next? All right, do we have, where are we going to eat? There's none of that. And so what fills that is just being together and enjoying each other's company. And just speaking as someone who does all types of travel, whether I'm with a crew of 8 or with my family, my twins, I just understand what Ama gives me, which is time. It gives me time with the people I love getting to be with them in a way that I don't ever get to be with them. And so that for me made this trip just, I mean, it's, my mom said the best thing. She said, she's like, I just want to go back to my room and think about what happened today, because it's amazing. You just have to let it seep in. And I'm going to see her next week for the first time since our cruise. And we'll be talking about what, wasn't allowed to kind of seep in yet, because you're still just like, oh my goodness. And so those are the memories. When they say, travel creates memories, though, that's the heirloom, right? That's what we get to keep. So it doesn't end, even though the trip has ended. The memories and what it created has not. It only grows and gets stronger. So yeah, it was such a special trip, and something that I so much wanted with my mom, and I got to have. So thank you.
That is such a beautiful story, Samantha, and how you talked about having those intimate conversations with your mother. And that's what it's all about. It's about making memories. And I really enjoyed actually hearing what you had to say. And Christine, you actually travel with your mother this year as well. And so family and family travel is so important to you as well.
It is. I was in November on the Ama Prima, actually, Samantha. And we were cruising the Moselle River and the Rhine and the Main. And it is also an area, the Moselle, my mom had not experienced before. It was in the middle of the fall colors, the peak colors. And she told me afterwards that it was the best week for her this year. And when she can come back and we can cruise again. And I so agree with you. Sometimes you do need the time to sit down to get into these deeper conversations. It doesn't go like this. And we don't know for how long, right? So that's why, again, time is running and we need to do it now. So and we will always have it in our heart and have the memories. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Well, to all the moms out there and your family members and friends that might be coming on a river cruise soon in the future, Samantha, you've cruised with us in all seasons and now in the winter. What would be your recommendations that people, how should they pack for their river cruise experience?
Well, one, I carried on. I was really proud of myself. My mother and I carried on, and that's big because winter clothes take up a lot more room. But I feel like you can wear the same sweater many times, and I would always change things up with the scarf. So one thing that I did, Wade, that really worked, it paid off, was I was starting to see the weather in Nuremberg and through my whole trip. And I knew that if I got past Nuremberg, it was just going to get a little warmer and warmer every single day. And I kept watching that temperature. And so when it was the exact same temperature in New York City, I tried on my whole outfit that I was going to use for walking around to see the Christmas markets, because I figured that's where I have to be the warmest. I wanted a few layers. I wanted a base layer, a warm layer. That red overcoat that you're seeing right now is kind of a second layer. Cashmere always does the trick for keeping you warm. And then I had my big coat. And I went out and I kind of walked around and I tested it. And I did like out of town tryouts for a Broadway show. and it worked. I was really comfortable and warm. So it's definitely layers. And then when I would go to eat, I would say, I got this question a lot from my own social media, like, how fancy is it? And it's not. People are casual. They're going to wear a sweater. Maybe they put, again, a scarf over it or bigger jewelry or something like that. But I had maybe 3 sweaters with me, that layer, my overcoat, a rain layer, definitely something waterproof, not water resistant, but waterproof is always important for this. And I was great. I did great. I had 3 pairs of pants. So 3 pairs of pants, 3 sweaters, 2 tops and a jacket. And I wore that and I was great.
Wow. Well, you're definitely a prepared traveler. I can see that. Thank you for all those tips. We also have, of course, Miriam here, our cruise manager, cruising in all seasons. Miriam, do you have any tip for us or for our future guests? I think you're on mute.
From this Christmas cruise, because we had many guests that asked me during the cruise, where can I get a luggage? I need to buy a luggage. So my advice would be pack light, because we have always on board affordable laundry service that you can use every day whenever you need it. And then you have more space for the, let's say, souvenirs or whatever. That's also my thing, what I do. I always pack lightly, and as you see, then I have the space for all these Christmas small mugs that are also from the River Mine that I did on the Ama Prima this winter. So, and also there was a perfect trick from Samantha that Samantha mentioned, because on my last cruise, I also had a lady. She was always having a black top, but 7 different scarves, and 7 dinners, 7 different ladies came. So that would be my recommendation.
It's wonderful, wonderful. But I know, Samantha, we would love to keep you so much longer here because it's just a delight to listen to you. But we know you are a busy lady in high demand, especially at this time of the year. So thank you so, so much for joining us today to help us celebrate such a fabulous year on the rivers. And hopefully next year you come back to your own ship, the Ama Magna.
Oh,
Yeah,
I would
so you should
absolutely
want to
love
see
that.
you.
Thank you so much, Miriam. So lovely seeing you for the first time. Wade, great seeing your beautiful face again. Christine, thank you again for having me. It's one of the highlights of my life and my career that I'm a part of the AmaWaterways family. And yes, I really hope to get on the Ama Magna soon. She needs me. I need her.
Thank you so, so much.
Happy
Samantha.
holidays,
Hello
everyone.
to the
Bye-bye.
families.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
So nice to have Samantha with us, really, and to talk about all those Christmas experiences. But of course, you know, there's so much more to our cruising season than just Christmas. We started cruising in the springtime, which is one of my favorite times of year, actually, when everything's coming back to life. And Miriam, you cruised in spring. I think you started cruising in March, right? What would be your favorite, let's say, non-Christmas?
Yeah, I would say, as also you know, because we discussed it a couple of times, my definitely one of the utmost most favorite is Best of Holland and Belgium, and especially, you know, the tulip time, the springtime and the tulip time in the Netherlands. The tulip cruises from actually March to May are for me, the most beautiful and the most spectacular, because then you see the colors and the shades of colors that you haven't seen before. You see different types of flowers, different types of blobs. And exactly from March to May is the time when I'm really like spending my time in the Netherlands, guiding our guests all over and showing them this beauty. Because also what you see here on this picture is the spectacular Keukenhof, which is the biggest flower garden of the Netherlands. 8 acres, wonderful colors, wonderful beauty, and you can actually spend there walking many, many hours on a daily basis. But wait, I think you remember, because we did also something special on our cruise. You remember what was that?
Oh my gosh, I'm so blonde. We did so many special things. I'm not sure which special thing you're referring to.
You remember the one when we had the plastic hats, the white hats, and we were preparing something?
Yes, of course. I do remember that. That was on the Best of Holland and Belgium, because of course in the springtime we have the tulips. But I mean, the great thing is that we can now cruise Holland and Belgium the entire year. We can cruise summer, fall, and winter in Holland and Belgium. And I had forgotten how beautiful it is to cruise other times of the year. So that's when Miriam, you and I actually cruise together. And it's a great itinerary and so many beautiful sites. But I think my favorite excursion was that one you're talking about, which was chocolate making in Brussels. And that's something that you can do all year round, right? So so chocolate making was fantastic. I love also really going in the warmer months as well, like summertime, and getting those little puffed pancakes called puffertjes, which are covered in butter and powdered sugar, and sitting on a bench and just watching the local activity. I mean, I know it's all about food and Christmas for me, but you know, it's part of the experience. So, and when you eat all these wonderful things, you also have to do some fitness. I know, Christine, when you cruise, like in Holland and Belgium, where it's relatively flat, you also like to do a lot of biking, right?
Of course, and not just when it's flat, but of course it lands for many of our guests. They love it. All the locals are biking. So yes, there are, of course, bikes here on this picture, and they all show blue helmets. So spring is definitely the most wonderful season for hiking and biking. So Miriam, tell us about our bicycles. We have them on board, right?
Yes, we have on board on every ship. There are complimentary bicycles that we are using for our bike excursions. Bike excursions are almost in every port and almost on a daily basis. So the guests and our guests decide to join them, they may. But also in their free time, if they would like to take the bikes and go and explore the countryside on the landscape on their own, they are more than welcome to do that.
Absolutely wonderful. And so wait, but there is so much more than Holland and Belgium, right?
Well, that's right. And we're walking through memory lane. And after the springtime, so many wonderful things happened this year. In summer, we had many wonderful things happening and many stories to share. And there's one story I'd really like you to share, which is this one, Christine. I think you know the story, right?
It's a girl, right? So back to our crew members, I have to say, they are there. I mean, their heart is there to surprise and delight. So Carolyn, pictured here, was cruising with us in August, and her daughter got in touch with our cruise manager, Raue, just a couple of days before the cruise, as she thought it would be lovely to have an AmaWaterways. It would be lovely that AmaWaterways would throw a gender reveal surprise for the future grandmother. And the wonderful Amazonata crew baked this special cake for her so that when she would cut it open, it would be pink if it's a girl or blue if it's a boy. And as you can see, it reveals the color here, and what a happy moment it was for this new grandmother. And she had so much fun and shared it with all the guests on board. And they all, I mean, I think are the friends now and cannot wait for the baby to come, the baby girl.
Yes, and you can see the joy in her face. And, talking about the crew, they do this just, it's love. And AmaWaterways is all about love. And we saw a lot of love on the rivers this year with all of our vow renewal ceremonies on board. And I was lucky enough to be on board for this one with Carol and Wayne. You see this very sweet couple together with the captain. This was on board the Amalea. And with our vow renewal package, which you can actually do on any ship, you get massage, and you get the ceremony, and you get the rose petal turn down service, which is all beautiful. But there's all these other unexpected things that happen, like with Carol and Wayne Lohmeyer that you see in the photo. So the story behind this is that their son, Daniel, had actually booked the cruise with the pre and post land package for his parents for their 50th anniversary. But what he didn't tell his parents is that he also booked the cruise for himself and the wife, and they were going on board to surprise the parents. So when the cruise manager, David, was explaining to Carol and Wayne the amenities that come together with the suite, he presented the children on board as part of the suite amenity package. So they just appeared. And of course, Carol and Wayne, they were shocked and surprised and with tears in their eyes and so very happy. And then a little bit later in the cruise, we had the vow renewal ceremony with the captain. And that's when Carol actually told us the story of how they met. And this was amazing because Wayne, and this is more than 50 years ago. So Wayne was in the military and Carol was working in the laundry at the military. And one day Wayne, he brought his laundry, to the laundry place where Carol was working. Their eyes met, but that was it. Nothing happened. And a couple days later, Carol saw Wayne in a local bar with his soldier mates, and she yelled across the room. She said, "Hey, Wayne, I've got your sock." And so he's like, "Oh, you have my sock." So they started talking. They fell in love. Married 50 years later, they're celebrating their vow renewal ceremony aboard the Amalea. And at that ceremony, Carol revealed to the family and to us on board, there was no sock. It was her excuse to get to meet Wayne. So I thought that was such a sweet story. Beautiful couple. And Jerry, the hotel manager, he sang for them in the lounge. They danced, everybody danced with them. We were all in tears. It was just magical.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I can second you, Wade, on this one because I had the same experience in 2021 on the Amabella, where we've been sailing lower Danube and we've been sailing from Romania towards Budapest. We also have this couple. They actually arranged a vow renewal with us after 45 years. And it was really special for them because we arranged, as you said, the captain, and then these rose petals over the turnover service in the evening, and there was a celebration. And actually, there was a special surprise, which also the bride, as we say, had no idea about, because as her wedding gift after 45 years, the gentleman, her husband, bought her actually the trip with us to Zambezi Queen. So that was also, yes, a special surprise for her on board the Amabella.
Wow.
So
lucky.
beautiful. Yes. So absolutely wonderful. And truly, Ama means love. And what better place to celebrate your love than on the romantic rivers of Europe? Maybe, you propose in front of the Met, all these castles when you're cruising the Rhine, or the Iron Gate when you're cruising the lower Danube. And of course, I'm saying this here to some of our guests who might say, well, that's what I'm planning maybe next year. So please contact your local travel advisor and talk to him or her about it. As a family-owned and operated company, we do place great importance on families and love to help our guests celebrate. But there was much, much more happening. And this was also a first timer. And this is Heritage on the Rivers. So this past June, a group of guests embarked on our very first ever Heritage on the River cruise, hosted by a renowned ancestry.com pro genealogist. That is hard to pronounce for me. So as part of the pre-cruise research package, one of our guests, Mike S., was able to connect with his family roots, and we were able to arrange a visit to the home of his ancestors in Hoffenhardt in Germany. And not only did he discover more recent ancestry information, but the pro genealogist was able to find Mike's family history going back to 1523. It was such an emotional and meaningful experience for Mike. And I know we actually have a video about this, but we cannot play the video today. I hope it's on our AmaWaterways YouTube channel. If you, our guests, our travel advisors, think about heritage and how it can touch the hearts of the guests to maybe trace back and find themselves in front of a church that was maybe built by the grandfather, or so many other things. This video is truly, truly touching. And I believe we have 2 cruises coming in 2023, one on the Rhine again and one on the Danube. And I believe the Danube is in summer and the Rhine in November, but maybe Wade, you can tell us more about.
That's right, Christine. It's June on the Danube River and in November on the Rhine. And like you said, it's so touching. And we have so many guests coming over who want to get in touch with their roots to find out, where are they coming from? And it means something to so many of us who are from North America. I'm originally from California, as you know. And even me, I was interested in my heritage and found out that just across the border in Germany, from Basel and Haltingen, my ancestors came, from the 1700s. So to be able to go on an ancestry cruise with a genealogist who's going to help you, and possibly you're going to have the chance to go to the places where your ancestors came from. It's just a fantastic experience. And like you said, we have 2 cruises next year because this year's cruise was so successful. So we look forward to that. But Christine, with everything what has been going on here in Europe, and Miriam, you've been cruising all over Europe, we have to remember that we have been cruising in Egypt the whole season. I was on the last cruise of the first season, actually in June, had another wonderful experience in Egypt. And in September, I went back to Vietnam. We had stopped in Vietnam for about 2.5 years because of the situation. It felt so good to be back in Vietnam and walking the streets in Saigon, and to meet all of our cruise managers there and our local guides and our onboard guides. We did the kickoff meeting. They were so excited to restart again. And many of you might know that, like Portugal and like Egypt, for the Mekong Cruise, we have our onboard guides from Vietnam and Cambodia cruising with us the entire time, together with the cruise manager. And they have such a passion for their area, for their countries, that they really bring the destination to life. And something that I really like about this cruise so much is the fact that it's so immersive. You really see beautiful things, and I love to take photos. We get to see the Royal Palace in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and of course Angkor Wat and Halong Bay. So there are really wonderful places to see and to photograph. But I think what is so great about this itinerary is that you really get to see the life of the people. And we go to places that I don't know how I would get there on my own. Candy, rice paper making workshops and candy making workshops, brick factories. Christine, you've been there too, so you know how immersive it is, right? It's just an amazing product. So we restarted with the first cruise 17th of October. I know it's going really, really well. Dennis and I were talking how happy the guests are. One of my favorite cruises, and I have done all of the cruises with AmaWaterways now, except for one. And that's the Chobe River in Africa with the Zambezi Queen. And we restarted there this year as well. And Christine, I think you were on that cruise, right?
That is absolutely right. But before I want to talk about this cruise, I also want to say we received a letter from a guest who was just in Angkor Wat with us on the and cruised the Mekong River. And she said, one thing, of course, she knew she bought a beautiful cruise and she got everything what she wanted. But what she feels she couldn't buy and what she got was when she was standing in front of the temples of Angkor Wat. She was just alone with our group and the locals. There were not all the thousands of people that are usually there and will be there again. And that's how I felt when we went to the Nile River in Egypt last September, when we had the maiden voyage of the Amadalia. And we were standing in front of the pyramids in Cairo, in Giza, just our group and maybe some locals, but that was it. This is something that was so touching, and you cannot get this back. So that's why I always say, let's do it now. Let's not wait. The times are really great to cruise now, to experience the world now in a most authentic and charming way. But of course, that's the same what I experienced in Africa. But in Africa in general, there are not so many people because you are there together with the wildlife, with the freedom of, the nature, with the stars, the Milky Way. And of course, we also welcomed our guests back to the Zambezi Queen earlier this year for our Africa Safari and Wildlife Cruise on the Chobe River, which is a sidearm of the Zambezi River, about 90 minutes away from Victoria Falls. And this is where 4 countries meet: Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Botswana. And I was able and lucky enough to sail on the beautiful Zambezi Queen on the highlights of the Africa Safari and Wildlife Cruise. And when I came back to the ship after a couple of years, what was touching my heart so much was all the crew members came back and were there. And they are from the Namibian local village, where we also take our guests. And we all had tears in our eyes when we saw each other again and hugged each other, because like for all of us, these past few years have been difficult, but have been extremely difficult for the people in this part of the world. So, and similar to the Mekong, we have the local guides, they are cruising with us. And then, of course, we do sundowner cruises from the Zambezi Queen in the afternoon, evening hours, where we take our guests to the banks of the river when the animals are coming down to the river to drink water. And the most spectacular things is when all the elephants are coming at 5 o'clock, like a stampede, the baby in the middle, and then the water is high, and that usually happens in late March, early April. Then the elephants can swim through the rivers, the trunks like snorkels going up, and the teenager elephants just playing. And you know, it is such a heartwarming moment, and for me and for many of our guests, the ultimate cruise experience. So when we talked about the couple that came on board and he bought a certificate to experience our South African cruise, I think, well done. You know, again, it is about the memories this couple will make. It is about the time they will enjoy, maybe fall in love again together, talk with the crew members and so many other people there. And it's such an enriching experience. From all the history, from the stories that everyone will tell on board, they will dance on board, they will celebrate, and of course this incredible wildlife. You pretty much can see all the big five in the different parks where you go. And I would be foolish not to say the last time we went there, we also went to see the gorillas in Rwanda. And if you really look for this special moment, the most emotional moment, because the gorillas are almost 98% similar to our DNA, and they are so different. And when you come to this place where they are and you see them, it's like the world stands still. And it's just for an hour where you can see them, and it's worth every penny. So that is just a little bit about my experience, and of course our crew members who came together again, who will serve you, our guests, when you decide for this beautiful cruise. And Zambezi Queen can only hold up to 28 guests in 14 suites. So it's certainly like being on your private yacht. But so we also spoke about the joys of cruising in springtime earlier. And you know that I also enjoy cruising in autumn. It's such a lovely experience, especially when we have the fall colors being in their peak. And we had a spectacular fall this year. These weeks in late October to mid-November were just stunning. So Miriam, can you tell us why autumn is such a perfect time to enjoy a river cruise? And what do our guests say when they meet up with you on board?
Yes, definitely, Christine. I may, and I'm very happy to share my experience with autumn as well, because as I love the spring, I fell in love more and more year by year with autumn as well, or fall, because all the beautiful bright colors that you see in spring are actually changing in autumn from 1,000 shades of yellow, brownish, reddish, and so on and so on. So it's really a spectacular. You can really have a wonderful pictures, especially if you are sailing on the Rhine or Danube through the Wachau Valley or the Rhine Gorge with all the castles. But also France is very special because France has the apple harvest, and then they are preparing the apple calvados. And that's what I also like, that in autumn you already feel the winter coming, but you still feel and smell the smoke of the summer, so it's like a transition in between. And also what I really particularly like are the beautiful pictures that you can get from every port of call, because there is not a single tree as the other tree. And also my favorite part, or what our guest says, is that it's very leisure sailing, and it's very relaxed atmosphere, because usually the summer crowd is already over and the Christmas hasn't started yet. So also the sailing in autumn or in fall, it's very relaxing and really like easygoing and really enjoyable for all the senses.
I have to agree with you, Miriam. It's so absolutely beautiful. And Christine, when you were talking about Africa, I got like goosebumps on my arms, hearing about those magical moments. But I had a similar feeling, I think it was November 1st or so, or beginning of November, when we were in Peaceport on the Moselle River, and the Prima was docked there with that beautiful scene behind and those colored vineyards. I also had goosebumps. It was just so magical. And it was a wonderful autumn this year, and particularly November, we had great weather. And it's funny because being an American living in Switzerland, I obviously absolutely love Europe. But my roots go back to California, and my childhood is in America. So there are very important things to me which I do miss, which of course is Halloween and Thanksgiving. And these are traditionally not things celebrated in Europe. It becomes more and more popular. Halloween, you kind of see it here and there. But being American here in Europe, I certainly make sure that we have the most amazing Halloween parties on board of our ships. And our crew, they do an amazing job with the costumes, with the decorations. So it's an amazing party for Halloween. And of course, I'm always looking for the best place to have a Thanksgiving dinner, because I grew up eating, cranberry sauce from Ocean Spray in the can, which is not as good as the Thanksgiving dinner that we have on board of our ship. So always around Thanksgiving time, I'm looking to see which ship is closest that I can go and have a great Thanksgiving dinner, which is another plus for cruising in autumn, right?
It is. And I really saw that we had so many more families on board again during Thanksgiving, really deciding it's the time for them to come together, but to get pampered and not to do all the preparation. And so and I hope that we can continue, of course, with this beautiful tradition in all the years to come.
Well, we surely will. And, we only touched on a few memories in this memory lane of 2022, and we could go on, but we know that time is precious, as you mentioned, Christine. So maybe we would like to wrap it up and look forward to a wonderful 2023 and Christmas coming up, right?
Absolutely, Wade. Yes, time is running. And so I would like to do the final toast with you, with our guests. And this comes actually from Helen Keller. What we have once enjoyed, we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. And here at AmaWaterways, we are so fortunate to be able to do what we truly love. Our unique heritage, our belief in the good that travel brings to the world, and our deep connection and respect for the timeless rivers and the communities we visit are all part of why we are so passionate about sharing precious time with our guests and making cherished memories for them that we hope last a lifetime. May we venture out into the world in 2023 with our good health, with positivity, and with our own unique love. I would like to close this and wish you a bright and joyous 2023. From our family to yours, happy holidays and cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you
Cheers.
for those beautiful words, Christine. And thank you, Miriam, for joining us. And thank to all of you, our travel advisors, loyal guests, and future guests for being with us tonight. All the best and happy holidays.
Thank you so much.
Thank you also from my
And
side.
thank you,
Merry
Miriam.
Christmas,
Thank
everybody.
you, Wade.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.